Welcome to Get In. I'm Debbie Rosas, founder of the Nia Technique, a body and life practice that's been changing people's lives since 1983. How? Through movement and through pleasure. Yes, you heard me right, pleasure. And today I have the beautiful opportunity to speak with my guest, who is not only a Nia teacher, a facilitator of pleasure like you can't believe, but also a trainer, and most importantly, a movement artist. She walks her talk. Our topic today is something that expands the concept of pleasure. I'm talking physical pleasure, mental, emotional, and spiritual, and the kind of pleasure that we get when we connect ourselves with the truth, and that is we are connected to everything, the sky, the earth, and that's something that Britta has a deep passion about, the earth and the oceans. She is a dedicated movement artist, and she continues to inspire me and to inspire the Nia community and the community on Nia On Demand, which is our beautiful subscription service where you could work out anytime and anywhere in the privacy of your own home. Now, since beginning her journey, and I'm ready, I'm going to say, I can't believe I'm going to say this, in 1995, Britta has guided thousands of students into a unique blend of the Nia practice, which is a blend of three arts: martial arts, a bit of Tai Chi, Aikido, Taekwondo, and dance arts, a bit of jazz, modern dance, and Duncan, and the healing arts. Each of these, the personalities, the energies in the healing arts, yoga, the Feldenkrais method and technique, and the Alexander technique. Of course, those are practices, lifelong practices to master. But what Nia does is we look at what is most beneficial to the body, guided by the body's way, which means we look at the design and the function of the human body and we say if it fits what the body says it's designed to do, then let's bring it in and use it so that the Nia experience, practice, and lifestyle supports people holistically. When you look at the body's way, the message you immediately see is diversity, variety. You can just look at Britta and I, movement and energy variety, body variety. What is amazing about Britta, and we're going to have more conversation, I want to find a little bit more. She has not only a background in Nia, background in education as well, with children, preschool, and also a black sash in Tai Chi and the Shaolin style, and also a black belt in Kung Fu. So, one of the things that I love is Britta's ability to blend yin and yang, athleticism with grace, beauty with power, which when I watch anyone who's a master in martial arts, that's what I see. Out of her own words, Britta says that she loves athleticism, and then she loves using Nia to complement the athletic endeavors that she enjoys as a restorative practice, as a movement art that helps her challenge herself, but at the same time, take care of her body and work the layers of the human form. We're here today to talk about her newest body of work, a piece of choreography. In Nia, we call it a body of work. Most people know it as a workout, and a Nia teacher knows it as a routine. It's called Ocean. Fluid, watery, absolutely. Lots of waves, turtles, fish. She brings all kinds of visualizations into the experience, which is another beautiful aspect of what Britta brings to anybody who is in her presence to have that taste of the Nia experience. She brings a somatic intelligence, and most of all, she brings a passion, wanting to help people move and feel better. Wow. Wow.
Gosh.
That's a lot, isn't
I
it?
know.
I hope you take note, right? Um, I've loved working with you over the years, not only as a student, but also as a trainer, and then most recently as a choreographer. And what is it about this body of work when we say it's a unique body of work? What makes it stand alone as something unique for you? Because you've done several pieces.
Yeah, I it feels like a call to action. It feels like we start with the physical body and the sensations of the body, and then for me, I feel like I'm transported or like moving for a higher purpose. Like, yeah, moving with purpose, and then kind of to the 10th to the nth degree. And then and other people feel it. It's like, okay, here's joy, and then let's just grow it exponentially, and then, either for um, an environmental action or community action or community service, something that
Beautiful.
makes people like,
So
yeah,
that's a great community experience, individual experience, environmental experience. So when you think about those three things, I know that Britta, is so passionate about those three things, hence the title Ocean. And the focus of ocean is in what we call dynamic ease. Now, I've seen you move for a long time.
yeah.
And I would say I've had the pleasure of watching you embody those words of dynamic athleticism and ease. How has your martial art practice added to your understanding and then skilled embodiment of dynamic ease?
Well, I feel like Tai Chi is super confrontive, where it's so controlled and slow. So actually practicing it, I find to be quite challenging. But then the next day, like if I know I have a class to teach, a Nia class, it's like, oh my gosh, this feels so good. Like it actually invigorates or enhances the Nia experience from going from that very linear, precise martial arts piece to like, and I guess I've also said it in the past, like it feels like a marriage, like the yang or the rounding over and the um, staccato kind of action, and then to like the next day being like, okay, opening and releasing or relaxing the yin and then the yang.
So, I think what you're expressing is what I would call the marriage or the blend between form and freedom. And with any practice, particularly a martial art practice, there is a strict form. There is a way you do it. Now, not only to practice the form, but when you practice, you actually speed up your natural reflexive response. And I too have sensed the difference between the form of martial arts and then the freedom or the self-expression that Neil allows, which the practice of martial arts does not bring
Yeah,
necessarily.
totally. Yeah.
And but you use the words as Tai Chi as being confrontive. I don't think most people think of Tai Chi as being confrontive, but I think it's important we remember it is a martial arts for protection.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my sensation of practicing on the mat is I'm always aware I might get hit.
Yeah.
And so there's a level of pressure. And when you talk about shifting from the martial art mat onto the mat of exploring Nia, that freedom when you opened up your arms, that joy, you're not going to get hit,
Yeah.
right? And so there is a release that comes through Nia. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about. The complement to the athleticism is the release. the movement of qi in a different way. It's not that we don't move qi, we do in martial arts, but very specific reason
Yeah.
to block something, to move something, right?
Right.
To kick something.
Yeah.
And then in Nia, we're moving our life force qi to feel good,
Yeah, totally.
for
And
pleasure.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's totally it.
What about kung fu in relationship? You described Tai Chi, but what about kung fu? Do you have the same kind of form and freedom experience?
It feels a little more free than Tai Chi. And then, do you want me to do
No,
that?
it's okay.
Okay. It feels, Kung Fu feels confrontive, but it feels like you're moving fast enough, or I'm moving fast enough where it's kind of like momentum. And then there's like all sorts of Nia principles that come through me in that moment. It's like, okay, I'm in the zone, I'm moving conscious energy. It's the total mind body connection. Yeah, let's see, Kung Fu, there's also weapons, so that's always.
Well, you love that.
Yeah.
I know that, people may not know this about Britta, but Britta loves to do a sword dance. And I can remember the first time she came into the studio to do a sword dance, and I thought, okay, where do people sit? And
You're
it
like, "What
wasn't
the
like
lights?"
it was amazing, but I will say I was a little nervous.
Yeah, it looks a little, at first it was
Yeah.
pretty wild, and now with Tai Chi and Kung Fu, it feels like I actually study with a teacher now, so
Beautiful.
it's not so unleashed.
Yeah, I remember my first went to a Goshku, and it was on weapons. It was a weapon training.
Yeah.
And I remember the first activity, I stood there and I just cried. I was so afraid. And I ended up literally not even be able to move for the whole weekend. At the end of the weekend, the sensei said, I want to give a award away for the best, the best presents. And I was the one that got the best presents because
Aw.
I got up and I got on the mat each time and I
Yeah.
stood there like this with my
Okay.
sword,
Nice.
but I never moved for the whole weekend. And it was frightening. I can still sense it in my body. But the thing that I was so proud of myself is I made myself do what I could do.
Yeah.
And, I've had a training in Taekwondo and some training in Tai Chi, and Aikido is my favorite. And boy, when you get a great sensei,
Yeah.
it makes all the difference in the world in how you learn.
Yeah. I can't
Right.
believe my master teacher lives in Idaho. It's like, who'd have thought that
Lucky
they would.
you. Um, you talked about the similarities of concepts between Tai Chi, and Kung Fu, movement of Qi, life force energy, grounding, centering. What are some of the practices in Nia that you would say, Nia helped me do this better in martial arts, and martial arts helped me do this better in Nia?
Yeah, well, I mean, the routine dragon was, when that came out, that was just
Was that your second routine?
I think so,
Yeah,
yeah, and I
second
had no
routine. Check
martial
it out
arts.
on Nia on Demand. It's called Dragon. It's a great workout.
Whole body. I hadn't experienced any martial arts classes before Dragon. I
Oh,
didn't
wow.
start taking them until after Dragon, and it was like a lot of the stuff was intuitive. I don't know where I got it. But I
You
would
got it from
definitely.
Nia.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
definitely say that. So, I mean, the sumo stance, the riding stance from Nia helped me with Kung Fu. I guess also the movement body coordination helped me from Nia into martial arts. And then the coolest thing about Nia as a teacher, it's like, okay, the music gives you those little those little signals along the path. Like, oh, this is when you do this move. But in martial arts, you just remember 84 forms all the way through with no music. So it's like, okay, what's next? What's next?
Well, yeah, you're either doing the short form or the long form, right?
Yeah.
Which means memorization, but you practice enough so that the somatic sensation of one thing moves you into the next, ideally. So you're not
Yeah.
thinking.
Right.
Not thinking is really important in martial arts. Responding. And then if you're sparring,
Yeah.
then you are responding to what is happening, right? Deflecting, whatever. And I love the story that you created the choreography of Dragon and that your modeling of the movement was so deeply, to me, rooted in martial art principles of grounding and centering, eye hand coordination, breath, and body integrated, and working within a kinesphere, working within a space. Kinesphere is what we call your bubble. So if you could just, if you stood up and you reach the sides, that's the width of your bubble. And then if you reach up, that's the height. And that space, that kinesphere, is your most powerful space. So in martial arts, you want to bring somebody into your kinesphere so that you can double your power and work with them. You don't want to have to go out of your kinesphere, then you're off balance. And so watching you in Dragon, your balance, the shifting the body weight versus jumping up and down, all of those elements that are important to the practice and also the promise of Nia that you're going to get holistic conditioning. You do not have to jump up and down because it's all about shifting body weight so you can protect bones and joints. Now, your second routine was
Well, first was soul and then
soul. That's right,
dragon.
soul.
Yeah,
Okay, soul
and then
and then
dragon.
dragon. And now this is your third, and this is ocean. Now,
Well,
Britta,
mystery too, but
pardon?
mystery.
Oh, mystery.
But
So
that
it's
was
been,
with
has it
yeah,
been four
yeah,
already?
that was with Adele though. So
Oh,
that
gosh. All right. Well, mystery is
lucky
lovely
me
as
working with
well.
Adele.
Focuses on the energy of Tai Chi.
Yeah.
And I loved that again. Why was that important? Check it out on Knee on Demand if you want to slow down and calm your nervous system. It's a great experience. And boy, do we need to calm down and slow down right now. All right. So now your fourth routine, ocean. Britta called me and wanted to put together a routine for an event that she does on the coast here in Oregon. Passionate. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Okay, cool. Yeah, the global water dances is part of the Laban method, and so is the kinesphere. Rudolph Laban created some different ways of working with dance therapy, and one of the more recent projects that have come out is the global water dance,
Mhm.
and it's about safe drinking water for everyone, everywhere. And I've been choreographing for them for a number of years, maybe 5 or 6 years, and then, yeah, when I called Debbie, I was like, "Hey, let's make this a Nia routine or a Nia workout so that other
And of
people."
course, I said yes. I love nothing more than collaborating. I love nothing more when an artist comes and says, "Can we?" I don't think I've ever said no, actually, because what's better than two heads or three
Yeah.
or four, right? There's always something beautiful that's created. And so I said yes. And then I pointed you to listen to the music. Now, a place to pick the music. Now, one of the things that I love about Britta is her listening ear. So she was talking about how in martial arts you don't have music, right? As a stimulation or motility. You have your breath and what's happening on the outside that you're responding to in your kinesphere. But with Nia, the music, the sound creates a resonance, which affects the energy field outside of you. And also, it affects the 50 trillion cells in your body. Who counts? I don't know, but 50 trillion. And that vibration creates enough motility to create a wave, right? A
Yeah, for sure.
wave, a cycle of movement that affects our breath and our nervous system. So, one of the things that I love about Nia is that we do not go along that typical, I'm going to warm up, I'm going to get moving, and I'm going to keep everybody's heart rate at a certain level. Then we're going to calm down and then we're going to go to the floor. In Nia, we promise that you're going to get nervous system conditioning. What does this mean? It means that sometimes the routine starts out very fast, sometimes they start out slow and steady, but within the 7 cycles of a Nia class, you'll find that the nervous system is stimulated in very dynamic ways, from very subtle to very intense. And we use music specifically to add movement and sound variety, therefore, physical fitness variety to stimulate bones and joints and nerves and tissues and breath and heart so that the body becomes adaptable. Now, what I love about you is when you pick a song and you're listening, and I watch Britta move, her movement is so in sync with the music that I hear the music,
Cool. That's
whether
good.
it's a boom boom. And I love this about cartoons. If you watch cartoons, their music is timed perfectly to the image, which is what a dancer, a movement artist in Nia, they seek to use the movement to use the music to enhance the movement, and then also move so that the dancer goes, I didn't hear that bell. I didn't hear that boom boom. And you do it so beautifully in this routine. I love how dynamic the music is and how dynamic the movements are. But let's talk a bit about one of your specialties. And maybe it comes from your childhood education, your passion for teaching little ones, your phenomenal um, imagery, visualization. How did you utilize that in this routine, Ocean?
Well, that definitely is the whole invocation or the call to action. It's like, okay, let's take people there. Let's get them underwater and they're still safe. They're still in a classroom
So
situation.
imagining that you're underwater, the first song, you take us in, and it's like, okay, I'm there.
And then over the last 5 years, just having the sensations, collecting or being able to recapitulate the sensations of being on the beach and
Sand in
witnessing,
your toes and
sucking your shoes,
sand
and
in your shoes, temperature of the sand in your feet. All of that affects
the
me when I do
smell.
this work.
Cool. Yeah. And it, like we say, it's to enhance the physical experience, to bring in those little pearls and say those things. So, yeah. And it helps people, it helps them. I feel like they can travel or they can envision what is possible. Like, yeah, maybe it looks like a dance class outside the window, but it's like, whoa, I can actually go and make a difference for humanity just by doing this hour class or this hour NIA experience.
Well, your imagery um, stimulates something that's very important in NIA, and we promise in terms of our holistic delivery. The promise of conditioning the 4 parts of being human: physical, sensing, right? Mind, thinking for more, as well as imagine, and emotion, feel. And then finally, spirit, what is unique to every individual and what is unique to a song, unique to a body of work. And I love in Ocean how you have certain hand techniques. That's another thing that's very unique about Nia is we have finger techniques like creepy crawlers, which you have in the routine, and hand techniques. But you've taken the hand technique of touch and you've had us touching and swimming, and you had us using the hands like a turtle. Talk a
Yeah.
little bit about that and how did that develop?
Yeah, I mean, mainly from working with the organization Sea Turtles Forever.
Oh, so
Yeah,
this
this
is
is the
it. Everybody do
international
it.
international sign language for sea turtle, which sign language for turtle is just that. But this is sea turtle.
Oh my God, I love it.
And then we also did this, and I guess I've always thought of this move or this move as self-love or self-preservation. So the backs of the hands or then the arms start to include as like gills or your fins, your dorsal fin, or your if you're a manta ray, something like that.
I love it. I need to go to the aquarium a little more often. When we engage the fingers and the hands, we activate the brain. And that is, again, another promise of Nia, that we are going to stimulate the brain, the body, the brain, and the nervous system. And so the other thing that's beautiful about when you engage the hands, you personalize the experience and it becomes very childlike. I always see a smile on people's face,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
When you are asking them to do something and they go, "Oh, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Oh, I'm tickling the space. Oh, that's my spear finger," right?
yeah,
But you bring up a really great point about form and function, which is very important to Nia education, the body's way. There's a form, a design of every body part, but it also has a function. So you're talking about the shoulder girdle. It's the number one part of the body that gets injured beside the knee in most human beings.
yeah.
A lot of that comes because we do so much palm down work. So I love the way you bring attention in the routine to the elbows, to the hands, how you have the hands in the front of the body, in the back body.
Yeah.
You have a you have us reaching back.
Yeah.
All of that is so good for the shoulder girdle. And I know that's important to you because you're a swimmer.
Yeah.
How long have you been swimming?
Oh gosh, since I was in high school.
Did you ever compete?
Yeah, I swam competitively in high school and
Did you
college.
win anything?
Well, one time I won because my dad was timing in my lane. He's like, "You won. Stop the watch before I touch the wall." I was like,
Well, that's in the family. It's okay. It's okay. Awesome. What do you hope people get from this routine, Ocean? They're at home, you're moving in your own space, in your own way, in your own time, and you have this facilitation. What do you hope they walk away with? What do you hope they get?
I hope that they get education in motion, that they're actually doing something that educates themselves to like change a behavior if it means using less plastic or buying things that are not in plastic but are in metal, glass, ceramic, wood. There's all sorts of options, and I feel like if I can do it, I think anyone can do it.
So that's the environmental challenge
Yeah,
that Britta
stop
is
using
giving to all of us. But
plastics.
but on a physical level,
Yeah.
somebody, may go, they turn this on, they have no idea that you're into environmental and they're going to work out. What do you hope that they get from that workout with you, Ocean?
That it's a sensation, like a call to action is actually a sensation. It's like I feel like it's so akin to joy. It's like, okay, this is what it feels like to do something purposeful and exert my body or to move my body to that point of euphoria or that dopamine like or serotonin like okay, this is what it feels like to be moving with this much exhilaration. And then how can I conduct or become that conduit to do something powerful in the or on the earth or for the environment.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
Nia Nia workouts are a place where healing meets strength. They meet each other. Healing is what Britta is talking about, and you frame it in joy. What is enjoyable for you? What is the sensation of joy? The joy of just moving your body to feel better. Only you know what it is, but it's certainly something to seek. It's certainly something to stay curious about. And I know that the experience of whether it's dragon or magic or ocean, mystery, any of those experiences on Neon Demand are going to give you an opportunity to experience the work of this beautiful teacher and trainer, Britta Von
Oh.
Tagen. Britta, if people want to find out more about you, where can they contact you?
My website is www.brittavontagen.com. And there's a bunch of information on there of classes and trainings and workshops and
Great. And it's
yeah.
BRITTAVON space TAGEN.
Oh,
So,
there's no space, but
pardon, no
there
space
is in my real name, but for the website it's
for the
pretty much
website. Okay, no
yeah.
spaces. Right. Beautiful. All right. And if you're new to moving and you're looking for a way, as I said, to blend healing and strength. You want to stimulate yourself in a different way. We're not your ordinary workout. Knee on demand, Gives you the opportunity to explore everything there, and there's so much for 2 weeks free. There are meditations, there are short workouts, dance breaks, hour-long workouts, therapeutic movement, lots of ways to get that joy sensation that Britta was talking about. If you'd like to find out more about me, go to debbierosas.com. You can sign up and receive free inspiring articles every single week sent right to you. If you'd like to find out about NIA classes and trainings, nianow.com. And for workout anywhere, anytime, on your time, niaondemand.com. Thanks very much for joining me. And remember that this is the most important time, I think, in our lives to get into the conversation, to get in relationship with your body, your mind, your emotions, spirit, and to get in your body and life. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.